What are one of the next biggest industries in the world? Well, we've seen a huge industry grow by automating finance and automating legal contracts. That's the Bitcoin world and Ethereum. And what that world did was it separated money and state. It separated transaction and state, opening up the world to a much greater level of efficiency and creating tons of value, right? Well, besides separation of uh, transactions, money, and state, next we have the separation of economy and state. And that's going to be super massive in the next 15 years. Bitcoin and the crypto industry, more than 12 million X in value in 10 to 15 years. And I believe the same thing is going to happen here. We'll call that AI liquidity. It's financial AI. And that's the next evolution in decentralized liquidity, trade, lending, transactions, etc. And this is massively useful for the world. The first system that I've seen to do this is called Genius AI. So let me explain to you how this works so you can see why the separation of economy and state is huge. You see, we have a world today that is transacting far more than the world 10 years ago. 10 years ago? No, sorry, 100 years ago. Businesses, small businesses, and people, they all transact so much more in a single day than they did 100 years ago. The world is demanding more autonomy and more security for their transactions. That's possible today because of blockchain technology. We know this, we get this. However, that's where the big opportunity is, the fact that humanity is changing. Now, keep in mind, here we have Genius AI, right? And the economy 100 years ago really is based on 19th century physics, which is also outdated. So wouldn't that be great if 20th century physics was used? Wouldn't that be great if 20th century math? Well, one thing that physicists have ignored for quite a while is the golden ratio and how that works with the universe. And that's what Genius AI does. Genius AI is proposing a separation of economy and state. It's proposing a better economy. And people who get on this early, 12 million X gains are to be seen. So a little quick review. In the Genius AI economy, the Jenny token is backed by Bitcoin. It's also backed by Ethereum and the US dollar. Really, it can be backed by anything that is tokenized and on the blockchain. So what happens is, let's say you take $100,000 in Bitcoin. I know this is a little off and says $100 if you're from Europe. uh, well, $100,000 in Bitcoin, when that backs the Genius token, it is then simultaneously pegged to many other tokens, such as US dollar and Ethereum. Notice I say simultaneously backed. This doesn't mean a one-to-one backing, such as gold in the US dollar, Bitcoin in the US dollar, Bitcoin in gold, Bitcoin in Ethereum. No, this is simultaneous. This is Genius token, Bitcoin, US dollar, Ethereum. They're all backed by each other, which creates something completely different that we have never seen before in finance. Yeah, this is financial AI you've never seen before. The world hasn't seen it before. So when this happens, well, if Bitcoin drops to $80,000, right, that can happen, right? But if that does happen, hey, there's me. If that does happen, your tokens are inherently pegged still to 100 US dollars. I didn't know I could select my Loom thing that way. Likewise, if Bitcoin goes up to $125,000, well, in this prior example, if you need to liquidate, you're not going to liquidate your $100,000 of Genius token for $80,000 of Bitcoin. Of course not. You're going to do it for the US dollar. And likewise, with Bitcoin rising to $125,000, if you need to liquidate, you're going to liquidate it for the Bitcoin, not for the US dollar. Excuse me. So when bull markets happen, we don't know who the winner is going to be. But you know what? Imagine this. Imagine that there is an AI system out there that will let you capture tomorrow's winner or next week's winner or the end of the year's winner. The AI, imagine an AI or imagine a business system that allows you to position yourself today for tomorrow's winner. How much would you invest in that? Like that would be your only investment choice until other better options come up. Likewise, we don't know who the losers are going to be. But either way, in a bear market such as 5 years ago, um, well, such as more recently, and from the bull market 5 years ago, Ethereum was the winner. A lot of people thought Bitcoin was going to be the winner, but Ethereum was the winner. And even Bitcoin maxis were looking at Ethereum like, maybe I'll put a little bit of Bitcoin into Ethereum because Ethereum won so hard. Now, the opposite of that, when Ethereum loses hard, Genius AI has you simultaneously pegged to all of these. And if you need to liquidate in a bear market, you're going to liquidate for whichever is the winner in the bear market. Could be the US dollar. So AI liquidity, that is the revolution. The revolution is separation of uh, economy and state. Because look, we want to transact so much that regulators cannot possibly regulate all those transactions. They need artificial intelligence. They need more time and attention to live their lives and be happy. And you know what? There's a case study on Genius AI that proves that it improves its economy constantly, but it also proves something that's very interesting. You see, all of these artificial intelligences that we have today are reactive to the information and the actions around them. But with Genius AI, it is the people who are reacting to the AI because of this better economy. And you can go to the link geni.to/case study to read that. That's GENI.to/case study, all lowercase. And it's not the other way around. It's not so much that the AI is reacting to people. The AI is taking control and charge of its own economy by listening to all the transactions, knowing what people want to do with that, and using people's economic commitments as a neural network in memory. It is very fascinating. I've been studying it for more than 3 years since the idea was born, or probably within a year after the idea was born. And you see, this is very interesting. If you want to try it, you can go to geniusairdrop.com. That is a website campaign run by a company that I am part of. And well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for checking it out.